Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
Oh, I had my Audacity open and now it appears it has closed.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, it's open now. It's open now. It's okay.
All right, all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right. Okay. Three, two, one.
Hi.
Hello again, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back. Episode. Tasha's waving. You would see it if you're watching on YouTube.
Hello.
Episode 7.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. So in this episode today, we are talking about a topic, and the topic is how to become a confident communicator.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is a topic that is actually highly requested of me outside of coaching. Like people ask me sometimes, like a lot of the times my clients are asking me as well about like how to become a more confident communicator. But then people that I speak to as well, because I share that I haven't always been this confident as a communicator. Like I've definitely come from an introverted, nervous, anxious, socially awkward background.
And we were actually just looking back at a video of Olivia from 2021. And we were just reminiscing on how she doesn't even sound like herself. She's just
Yeah.
like super nervous and how cute.
Thanks. Thanks for thinking I'm cute. Yeah, I think like a big part of my personal development journey has been becoming a more confident communicator and being someone who can walk into a room filled with people that she doesn't know and at least make one connection.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that that was going to be so much of the personal development journey. Like I thought it was just about like being confident in yourself and like loving yourself for like who you are and the way that you look and like really so much of it is actually just learning how to connect with other humans.
Yeah, definitely. Like you can love yourself as much as you want, but being able to communicate that sort of love to other people is so important.
Yeah, and I think like some people are just born good communicators. Like some people are born extrovert. Like you're pretty extroverted. Like you can chat the ear off anyone that you meet. But
Yeah.
like part of your personal development journey as well in building your confidence would look like being more confident in who you are, so you're able to communicate that and communicate confidently. I'm using confident communication word, those two words a lot
Or
right now.
like know how to communicate in an effective way.
Yes.
Rather than being confident, maybe it's the words I ch choose to use to communicate what I want to communicate.
Yeah, knowing the
Yeah.
word, like having the words to choose and like being able to get your point across. Because I
Yeah.
know some people again, like some people are born, they're short and sharp. They're able to get to the point really quickly. They have really good way with words, and then some of us are just like a bit dyslexic, like we get tongue-tied and nervous and shaky, and we go blank in our brains when we're trying to speak to someone, and we almost like can't handle silence or any awkwardness. And
Yeah.
so like we deeply fear it and therefore avoid social interactions that could potentially be awkward or uncomfortable.
Yeah, just like filling the space.
Yeah, and then that leads to, being shy, and then you take on that personality trait of I'm just a shy person and I'm introvert, and you kind of get in this really comfortable place of just like letting other people talk
Yeah.
and letting other people take up the space, and just feeling like sometimes you feel like I just don't fit in anywhere, or going to places where, yeah, you're like you don't know anyone or you're meeting new people can be like super scary. I know that is for a lot of my clients, and like especially for me, like before I learned how to become an effective and confident communicator. So yeah, people have come to me about this topic and asked me a lot of tips, but I've never really had anywhere that I could send them. I do have a PDF worksheet. I'll upload a Google form in the show notes, and if you want access to that PDF, you can just pop in your details and your email, so that way I can send it through to you. Um, I pretty much just put like everything into this PDF, like most of the stuff that I'd learned, and I'll just like share it with people. But I know that like reading a worksheet compared to like listening to a podcast takes a lot more energy and effort.
Yeah.
So I'm really
Yeah.
excited to do this podcast and have somewhere where I can send people when they have these questions and want to know.
Yeah. And then have hopefully my different side of the input or like view on what the information she's providing because it doesn't always make sense straight away.
No, yeah, you are going to help us break it down. But let's get started. So
Let's go.
another reason why why I had the inspiration to start this and do this episode was because of what we were talking about in our last episode, where you were having a little bit of you were having some challenges with like the people or a person within your team, and you know you've recently stepped into this like supervisor role, and you're like, you know, like how do I get people to listen to me and like
Yeah.
still respect me and like still like me and not be like forceful and maintain that respect. And we were kind of talking back and forth about that. And that was really good. But then whenever I have a conversation with someone, I think about it afterwards and I think, okay, what
Yeah.
was something that I maybe didn't tell them that could help them? And so one of the things I remembered was, oh my gosh, the best way to influence people and, you know, get them to do what you want them to do is to create rapport with them.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, oh my gosh, I've got all this information. Let's talk about it.
Uh,
So, what is rapport? So, rapport is that warm, fuzzy feeling that you get when you've just started talking to someone or when you have, you know, a friend who you're talking to where you just feel like I feel like I've known them forever and you're like, I really like this person. I feel like they're so much like me. And you get that really warm, fuzzy feeling. And that we think, oh, I like this person, or like, oh, I'm enjoying my time. And like, that's true. But what it is it means that you have both created rapport.
yeah.
Like you're in rapport with each other. It means you've created a bond or like a connection. And that is the way to make new friends, to make more friends, and to be an influential person, right?
Yeah.
Is to create rapport with people and to create rapport quickly with someone who you've never met before is a really helpful skill, especially if you're someone who is a business owner or a manager, supervisor, you know, someone who wants to influence what people are doing and how they're doing it. So, different ways to create rapport with someone is to maintain eye contact with them, which can be really uncomfortable. But I just want to challenge you that when you are speaking to someone, look into their eyes. Even when you're walking past strangers on the street, challenge yourself and practice looking into people's eyes who you don't even know,
Yeah. I
right?
actually do that.
Good. And that
You
shows
find
confidence.
so many people don't want to look at you.
No, because it's hard. It's not easy. It's a skill to practice.
Yeah. It's honestly it is like an experiment.
Yes, I want you to take everything from this podcast and apply it as a social experiment.
Yeah.
It will blow your mind to see how the people in your life or even strangers treat you differently. You may even, people will give you, are more inclined to give you things for free,
Yeah,
right? Like,
right.
so for an example, my mum is an extrovert. and
Yeah.
she makes instant connections with people who she's just met. She's very open, and she's good with people. And so her and her friend went shopping, and her friend is on the more like shyer side, more introvert, bit more closed off, just there to do her shopping and get out. She's there with her friend.
Yeah.
Whereas my mum, she'll start a conversation with anyone, with the worker, with the people in the change room. She's always looking to make that connection. And so then her friend checked out, like paid for her clothes and whatever, and went along. And then my mum paid for her stuff, and the lady said, "Oh, we're having a sale today. If you sign up, then you can get 20% off everything that you've got. Do you want to sign up?" And mum was like, "Oh my gosh, sure. That'd be great." And her friend's like, hello, like, why didn't you just tell me that?
Yeah.
She's like, why didn't you tell me that when I just bought something right before her?
Yeah.
And people might be like, oh, like maybe your mum's just lucky. Or sometimes even people would say like it has something to do with your appearance,
Mm.
but it doesn't have anything to do with your appearance. It has to do with how warm and open and how warm and open you are and how friendly you are, and how connected people feel to you.
Yeah.
If someone feels connected to you, they instantly want to help you and they want to give you the best of themselves,
Yeah.
right?
I
So that
always like, yeah, always I try and be as friendly as I can when interacting with people like outside in like shopping centers and stuff. Anyone that's serving me. I don't know,
good.
it's just like a that feeling of like it doesn't hurt to just say be really nice
It doesn't hurt to
and
be a
like you
nice
hopefully
person.
will make their day, like
Yeah,
ultimately.
yeah, absolutely. I'm like, go for that as well. Don't just do it for your own gain. Do it to like make somebody else's day, and to help them smile. Like kindness doesn't cost anything.
No, and like they might just be like so frustrated from someone else, and the least you can do is just be a decent human being and be understanding.
Yes, that was actually one of my points is to not take things so personally. So 100% of the time, the way that someone is behaving or showing up has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. It
Yeah,
has to do with how their day's gone, with their experience, with the knowledge, tools, resources that they have access to, with their level of consciousness. Like
yeah,
if someone doesn't know you and like they're giving off a cold energy or like they're being rude to you, it's because they don't have a high level of consciousness. They're only able to focus on their own self-absorbed experience because
yeah,
that's just what that's their brain in that being in that survival mode. And so
yeah,
we take it personally. We're like, oh my gosh, she doesn't like me because like I'm not a pretty girl, or like she doesn't that girl does is rude to me because like she's jealous of me. But it's like it's not that deep.
no,
Like
no,
what people do has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you very often.
yeah. And I've even snapped at people before at work. Um, and then after I've snapped, like later in the day when I've had time, I've gone and apologized
Yeah,
for
right.
snapping because like like the things that I said, I was like, there was like no need for me to say that to them. I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, it was like a maybe like a culmination of things happening at once. And then that one thing sort of like just like added to the pile, and you're like, of course, of course
Yeah.
this happened. And then I'm like, actually, that was really rude of me. And it's like on my consciousness, and I'm like, I'm gonna apologize because they might even be like, oh no, it's fine. But I'm like, no, like it wasn't okay. Like I didn't think it was a nice thing to say.
Well, that just goes to show your level of emotional awareness and being able to do that and then take responsibility for that is amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
hard.
good.
And like it makes you feel so like icky,
Mm,
but then you just feel so relieved because you're like, oh, it was just like
it's
so
clear.
much nicer when you like you acknowledge the fact that you did something that was rude or not out of character, like, and you're like, I didn't like that side of me. That side of me is not who I want to be.
Yeah, and acknowledging that with that person allows you to reestablish connection, right? Whereas if you just ignore what you did, that person is not going to forget it,
No.
right? And that can lead to resentment, and then that inhibits connection. And the main goal is connection because with more connections with people, we're able to go further, we're able to go further together, we're able to, um, be stronger. I mean, it's kind of a spiritual way of looking at it, but God always says having a relationship with someone is better than not having one at all,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you never know when you're going to need someone, even someone from work, a neighbor, friend, family member, like having those relationships, even just having them be amicable. You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to like suck up their ass if you don't get along with them. But
Mm.
just being amicable is better than having tension and being in a place of angst towards each other.
It's kind of almost like that saying of like, don't burn your bridges
Yes.
because you just never know. You never know who's going to be on the other side of it, and
Mm-hmm.
they could make the ultimate decision of like a life-changing event in your life, and you burnt that bridge years ago. Like
Absolutely.
people don't
That's so
forget.
good. People don't forget. Exactly. No, just because you might have forgotten, other people don't forget. Trust me. They'll
Yeah.
remember what you did to them. They'll remember the one bad, like the one negative thing that you did, but like forget about the 10 positive things that you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
I
because we're
guess that's
negatively
like
geared.
I guess that's like exactly why like I apologize because I interact with these people all the time. And
Mm.
I'm like, oh, I just don't want to like have that feeling of possibly never building that connection, or I've like fully stunted that connection and it takes like 10 times more to build it than it is to break it. So it's
Yep.
like you need to make that conscious effort to either fix it or apologize
So
for
good.
it.
Yeah. Okay, coming back to rapport. So yeah, maintaining eye contact as much as you can. Like obviously make sure that you're blinking. But when you can maintain eye contact with someone, that really shows like your confidence and it shows that you're seeking connection. Like if you walk up to a group of people, you're going to say hello to everyone who's making eye contact with you. But if someone's standing there looking at their phone, you're like, well, obviously you're not interested in engaging and connecting with me, so like they're not going to bother with you. And then it's not like, oh, I'm just someone who like people don't really like and I'm not a very likable person. It's like, no, you're not being an open and engaging person. You're not
Yeah.
opening yourself up to the opportunity for connection. So
Yeah.
eye contact is a big thing. Next would be finding similar interests. So people like people who are like them,
Mm.
right? And we all have something in common. The one thing that every human on this earth has in common is Leil, is that we are all human.
Yeah.
We're all human living a human experience. So if there's nothing that you can find in common with this person, you can at least come back to the fact that you're both human, having and living a human experience.
Yeah.
And connecting with someone in that way means being vulnerable
Yeah.
and sharing about your human experience and what's going on for you right now. And 9 times out of 10, when we are open about our own vulnerable human experience, I know I experience, I had a lot of great outcomes with this when I was working as a teacher's aide. And the teachers would be like, there's this really difficult kid, and everyone's tried, and you just need to keep your distance from him. And like, you just need to blah, 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 walk on eggshells. Like, okay. sure the kid just wants to be loved and just given a bit of space. So
Just wants to be loved.
I just gave him space and just didn't didn't overwhelm him, didn't try to be his
Yeah.
friend. I let him come to me, and before you know it, he's opening up to me and he's talking to me about his whole life story,
Yeah.
about, his mum abandoning him. And I was just able to show compassion and that I understood what, like, that was difficult for him. And then he was instantly close with me,
Yeah.
right? And that's not because I'm this master with kids. It's just knowing how to communicate and understanding how people work,
Yeah.
right? So, finding similar interests um, means asking genuine questions to get to know someone,
Yeah.
right? People are I can think of a million questions that I could ask someone. If you want to never have an awkward conversation with someone, just ask them all of the questions that you can come up with, and I guarantee you that you'll have a flowing conversation for at least
Oh,
half an
yeah.
hour.
It's not hard. Like I've literally met someone today for the first time ever. And like obviously you just start talking and then you kind of just ask like, oh, like what made you choose to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Or like when did like just ask like questions about the thing that they've spoken about. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
bound to be a question on that one topic that you could ask. And then before you know it, you start talking about all this other random stuff that's like completely
Yeah.
irrelevant to the first topic.
Yeah, curiosity. Curiosity is key. That's how I
Yeah.
have so many conversations with people, is I'm just genuinely curious about their life and their
Yeah.
experience. And you'd be surprised like what you can learn about people and what other people go through compared to you, and what you can learn about the world just by asking other people about their experiences. It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
asking genuine questions and finding similar interests. Like it's like, you see someone, and like people will show you through their demeanor and through what they're wearing, who they are. Like you can kind of categorize people when you get really good at this. Like, say, for instance, you see someone, you meet them for the first time and they're wearing like a Panthers jersey.
You'd be
You'd be
like,
like,
what's your favorite team?
oh, so you like football? You like NRL? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, you like the Panthers? Oh, I go for the Panthers too.
Yeah.
Right? That's a common interest. That's something we have in common that instantly builds rapport because you both have this thing that you enjoy and that you understand each other on,
Yeah.
right? And then from there, the conversation just takes itself. So notice what people are wearing, even like smells as well. Like I've had someone like literally know what perfume I'm wearing. And
That's
I'm like, oh my
crazy.
goodness, you know what I'm wearing? And I instantly feel connected to them.
It's actually such a mental thing, like that someone is capable of knowing what you're wearing, unless it's the perfume that I wear all the time. I honestly would not be able to pick it. Be like,
I was impressed.
was it like a common perfume or was it like a,
No, no. It's
yeah,
like a Jean Paul Gaultier, like pretty fancy perfume that I never really heard or seen of other people wearing, and she knew which bottle it was.
crazy stuff? Because I'm
The
like, if
what?
it's Ariana Grande, and I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. It was a rare one.
Everyone
I was
wears
like,
Ariana Grande.
literally, everyone wears
This
I
guy.
if so, you do. If someone wants to have a conversation with Tash, just be like, I also use the Ariana Grande perfume. Let's chat about
Yeah.
it.
So good. My nan wears it now because of me.
I love that. Your nan sounds amazing.
She's so funny. And
The
I'm like, so now
next,
I smell like
yeah.
my nan.
Oh my gosh. No, your nan smells like you.
Yeah,
She slays.
unreal. She slays.
She's slaying. So the next one is to stand or move in the way that they do. So this is
Mm,
a communication technique called mirroring. And you want to do this in a really subtle way. You don't want to do it where a person feels like you're literally copying them. Like it's got to be very subtle, but it's a great way to build rapport with someone. So, uh, you kind of mirror the way that they're standing. So if they're standing and they're kind of like they got the hand on their hip and they're like leaning into their hip, you just like slowly like move your hand on your hip and kind of like lean in the same direction that they are, and that builds rapport.
so weird, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Or well, it's just like if someone yawns and then you automatically yawn, that shows that you've got rapport with that person. Our bodies are so connected more than what we realize.
Yeah.
So if you can get your body in sync with somebody else's, their nervous system and subconscious mind is going to trust you more because they
Mm.
think your subconscious mind goes, "Oh, this person is like me. I can trust them. I can relax."
And then I think this is like it's just a tangent, but then you can understand how people can be manipulated
Yes. Well, how do you think
because,
magic happens? How do you think people
yeah,
practice magic? It's all through delusion.
like it's just insane though. Like, I think breaking it down allows people to understand that it's like
Mm.
this compounding effect of like, it doesn't start out that they're matching what you do. It might just start out with eye contact, and then it might start they're interested in what you do, and then they have the body language, and then obviously there's a select few people who would manipulate people, but that's irrelevant right now. Trying to
Being
explain
a
how to build rapport, but
but being aware of that and knowing what people are capable of doing gives you more power to not be easily persuaded.
yeah, to be able to pick up on, you know, there's a difference between building rapport and people listening and doing the things that you want them to say, and then of you asking too much of people and manipulating them to do things that you want. And there's like obviously at work it might be a bit different, but if it's outside of work and it's you're expecting people to do lots of things for you, then I'd probably say it's a bit more manipulation.
Well, this is where one of the points that I'm was going to share about, which is knowing your intention
Yeah.
for connecting with someone, knowing what is your desired outcome. So, and being ethical with it, obviously. I
Yeah.
mean, if your intention is not, but I feel like so our brains are really, really good at picking up on inauthenticity.
Yeah.
So if someone is not being authentic, our subconscious radar goes ding, ding, ding. This person cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
This is why I said you've got to be genuine in your intention. You got to know what your intention is and even be clear with that. Like the least sleazy salesy people are the ones who say, "Hey, just letting you know straight up, my intention is to try and sell you something." Right? And then I
Mm.
immediately go, "Thanks for letting me know, hang up."
Yeah.
Right? But it's
There's
better
nothing
to
worse. Yeah. There's nothing worse than sitting on a phone call to someone for 20 minutes and answering no, 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 I'm not interested. Thank you, no. And they just don't pick up on the fact that you're just not gonna do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just be like, well, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And move on. Like
Yeah. They're
that not only are
trying.
they wasting time, their own time, they're wasting your time.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of different sales techniques to be aware of. But yeah, this is where like being ethical with this knowledge comes into play. Um, and you know the focus of this podcast is purely to help you to become a more confident communicator within the social situations that you experience. You know,
Yeah.
sales techniques and stuff like that. You can, you know, this is the groundwork for a lot of the sales skills and techniques that people use. But you can trust yourself. You can pick up on someone who's shady really quickly. And you'll be able to do it even faster with having this information and knowing this information.
Yeah. What's going on?
I just had to reshuffle how I was sitting.
Uh, I feel that.
Yeah. So, yeah, you want to know what is your intention and desired outcome from connecting? Is it you want a new friend? Is it to grow your community? Is it just to get information and ask questions of a person? Is it to build a close friendship or is it just to fill time? You know,
Mm,
just a bored at a party, you're there with your partner, but they've gone off and they're, socializing with their friends and you're just sitting there like a loner by yourself. And so you're like, okay, well,
yeah.
rather than sit here by myself, I'd rather have a conversation with someone
Yeah.
and to help
It,
pass the time by. And I'm sure that there's someone else looking to
it's
do that as
actually
well.
so funny that you say that because that actually happened like
Really?
probably like a month ago. Well, I was watching Bradley's cricket. Bradley wasn't playing and he was like sitting with all the boys. And then I met this lady. She was like sitting like 5 meters away from me. We were both sitting on the hill and I had Benji with me. And I guess
Mm-hmm.
Benji's like the conversation starter because she was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
like, can I pat your dog or whatever? And I was like, yeah. And then I like moved closer to her and we were just sat next to each other the whole time.
Mm.
Um, and I ended up getting her Instagram. And now,
Oh,
yeah, like
lovely.
just just another person like in your life that, that you get on really well with and it just works.
Yeah, it's good. Connection is beautiful. Um,
No, it was
yeah,
like really lovely.
I can just see a little bit of something in my audio. I'm sorry if there's a bit of a background noise. I don't know where that might be coming from.
Uh-oh.
But it's okay. Yep, so no, that's beautiful. Like, and you literally never know where your next close friendship could be and could come from.
Yeah.
Like literally,
Yeah.
like since becoming a more open and confident person and communicator, like I've made so many new friends that I would not have made if I hadn't just been open and willing to put myself out there to a complete stranger.
Mm.
Like it's so
Yeah.
worth it. Yeah. So, the next way to build rapport is to follow and match their tone. So if someone is talking really slow and low and they're just really chill, you want to slow yourself right down, right? You don't want to come in and be like, and hi today, and how's your day going? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And that's like so cool. Like that person is just going to be like, whoa, go away from me. Like that
Yeah.
person's just not gonna feel connected to you. They're gonna just like be like, nah, we're not on the same wavelengths, and like the connection is just severed. So like not being inauthentic, not being someone that you're not, but like just chilling out a bit, seeing how that goes, matching your tone with them. If someone is
Yeah.
a bit more like high energy and loud and talks fast, like lift up your energy and your mood and like match them. And you can do this to create a connection with someone and then realize that they're just not the person for you. Like they're not someone who you want to build a friendship with.
Yeah.
But at least you gave it a go. You won't know unless you try.
Yeah.
And what we do is we just judge people straight away by what they look like or how they talk. We look at them, we go, okay, yep, you're XYZ. We'll never connect, we'll never be friends, and like you just don't bother with them.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that is a way to limit yourself from beautiful connections that you can have in your life. I know, like, for me, I would be like, whoa, no, that person is like way too popular for me. They'll never want to speak to me. And just like, so I would just stand like awkwardly in the corner, just like,
That's like Olivia trying to be friends with me. I'm just way too cool, way too popular.
yeah, I just thought, like, fuck, Tash is just way too cool for me. She'd never want to talk to me.
Oh God.
Right? But like,
No.
I did that so many times, and like now I'm friends with those girls.
Mm.
Because another thing to realize, which helps you with confidence, is realizing that we're all on the same level and no one is actually better or worse than you.
Yeah.
You know, we might look down on people, be like, oh, like you work at like Macca's and you're like 25, like wow, like I'm so much better than you. Like we're gonna have nothing in common. You hang around teenagers all day. Like that person could be on a higher salary than like most people, and maybe they really like their job at McDonald's and it makes them happy. Like, so why judge them? And they could be a really
Yeah.
awesome person.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like
mean,
if
they probably are a really awesome person.
they probably are. They're probably fun if they can, and if they're a really hard worker if they're working at McDonald's, right? Like if they can handle that stuff, they're hard workers. They deal with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So, not judging someone, not looking down on them, and also not pedestaling people, realizing we're all human, we're all doing our best. Just like,
Mm.
we all shit, we all piss. Like we
Yeah.
all make mistakes and sometimes feel embarrassed and we have highs and lows and like we're just living a human experience.
Yeah.
Like when we just can see people as people, it really helps us to get out of our heads and be in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Then the next one is repeating what they said back to them. So you can, whatever like someone's last words were, you repeat it back to them. So just tell me something about Brad.
Bradley just got a new job and he had a
Oh,
really
wait, sorry. I just start cutting in. Never
yeah.
mind. I thought you were finished. Okay, yeah, he got a new
And
job.
he had a really, really hard day today.
Oh, he had a hard day today, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good.
It's so hard to
That's how you do that, right? That
Yeah.
you just repeat the end of what they said, and that's how you can get someone to keep talking.
Yeah.
Repeat the
Oh,
last
like
words that they said.
yeah. It's that's interesting because it's like I reckon if you did it too much though, it would be annoying.
Oh, for sure. Like
Yeah.
t you've got everything blends together, right?
Yeah.
Once again, you don't want to be super obvious. And these are just like techniques that you can rely on to help yourself. Like you can practice them, in different situations with different people and see how it works for you. And
Yeah.
then like this is while just you're building up your ability to be more of a confident communicator. It's
Yeah.
like, but yeah, no, you don't want to. You don't want to do that all the time because you're not contributing to the conversation then. You're just like people get tired of talking sometimes, like
Yeah.
you want to add a little bit of spice, but like if you want to know more about what someone is talking about, repeat the last words that they said
Yeah.
and then pause and be okay with silence. Please learn how to be okay with silence. It's okay. You're not going to die.
Yeah.
If you both sit there and think about the next thing to say, or maybe if the conversation just goes quiet, embrace the quiet. When you can just be
Yeah.
confident and calm in it, the conversation will come back. The flow will
Yeah.
happen again. But it's when we're like, oh my goodness, I need to keep making sure that we talk because like God forbid there's silence and it's awkward. I hate it. And then you're in your
Yeah.
head and then there's an awkward silence anyway. But now the silence
Yeah.
is awkward.
Yeah. It's just giving people space. And you don't have to talk all the time.
No, you don't have to talk all the
You
time. You
can
don't have
just
to talk at a million miles an hour.
you can just be that person that someone feels comfortable sitting in silence with.
Yeah, such a gift. Such a
Like
gift.
they
And
don't, yeah, you're not expecting that anything from them.
yeah, yeah, that's so refreshing as well, especially for people who are like chit chatters. My next tip would be to be a good listener.
Mm.
So people will tell you what they want to talk about based on the words that they share with you and the topics that they share with you, right? So, like you were talking before, and you would, I said talk to me about something or talk to me about Bradley, right? Bradley is going to be like one of your top conversations that you're going to want to have because he's an important person in your life.
Yeah.
Someone who you spend a lot of time with, you live with him, like you like relationships. Maybe maybe I know this about you because a lot of our conversations in the past have been about relationships,
Yeah.
right? Like, so it's paying attention to what someone is saying to you, listen to what they're saying, and you'll then be able to have a longer conversation with them because you know them. You know what
Yeah.
interests them, you know what's going on in their world, and then it just becomes like a mental list in your head where you're like, okay, well, we're done talking about their relationship. Or they have a dog. Let's talk about their dog. Check in. How is your dog going? How's Benji? Then after that, if that runs out, then you might be like, okay, what else do I want to like get a catch up on? Oh yeah, how is uni going? That's right. I know that you do uni. And when you
Mm.
show people that you're a good listener and you pay attention to what they say and you genuinely like know about what's happening in their life, they feel more connected to you and people appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's
I try and do that. So like I'll be talking to someone and I'll be like, oh, I remember you telling me like about this, like how did that go? Or
yeah.
and like it like once I start talking to someone, my body starts going like, oh, they told me about this thing happened or this that happened. And it's like
Yeah.
and it's also like remembering like minute things that a lot of other people probably wouldn't remember and like
Yes.
regurgitating it and being like, oh, is that what happened? Or like, is this what you were talking about? Or like trying to like, give it back to them, but like get confirmation that you're on the right track.
Yeah, yes, good. That's an amazing communication technique. Remembering the
Yeah.
finer details of someone's world and life. It really, people appreciate it and it really helps them to feel connected to you because they're like, oh wow, you actually care enough to remember the things that I tell you. And you might be like, oh, but I have a really shit memory but like practice like or a technique that I read in a book was when you're practicing in the beginning, if you want to get better at memory, after you have a conversation with someone, go and write down what they told you. Go and write down the
Yeah.
important points about what they told you with their name. So then the next time you see them, you're 10 times more likely to remember what they've actually told you and what's going on in their world.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it pays to have good memory as a communicator.
It really does. Like, and that also plays into like the part of being curious and asking those questions. Because
Exactly.
like someone might say they have a partner, but then if you're like, oh, like what does your partner do for work? Then you understand a little bit more. And then you're like, oh, like start talking about that. And then before you know it, you know the partner's name and you know what they've done. And then you're like, oh, how are they going? Like I know you were telling me that they've been sick lately, or like
Mm,
it's
yeah,
personal.
it is personal, and people love that, and they appreciate it. So, so good. Okay, so next is be warm and friendly. This is my next tip. So,
Mm,
remind yourself that you are a good person with good intentions who is very likable. A lot of the times we have this underlining limiting belief of like people don't want to like me. Like
mm,
I'm not a likable person. Um, and people are sometimes we also have this underlining belief of like people are out to get me. Like, like I literally had this belief that like people want to hate me. And of course, that was my reality,
yeah.
Like I had a lot of people dislike me, and then I hated that. And then like it was like this perpetuating belief that kept me stuck in this negative cycle of like, oh, well, I don't believe that I'm very likable, and therefore I have experiences in life that validate that belief.
Yeah.
and then I believe it, and then I believe it on a deeper level, and then it becomes ingrained, and then it's a part of me, and then it's just like it's not true. It's all lies. It's
Yeah, and
lies
I
that we
think
tell
we
ourselves.
all go through that at some point though. Like I've definitely been through points where I'm like, oh, no one wants to help me. No one cares about what I'm going through. And
Mm,
you just like let it eat you up. It's really difficult to come out of those
mm.
things.
It is, and that's where like working with a coach is super helpful for unearthing those limiting beliefs and then upgrading them and rewriting the story. But just I want you to affirm to yourself and just know like that you are a good person, even if you've done quote unquote bad things. We're all human. We've all done bad things, right? We've
Mm,
all done things below the belt one or a couple times in our lives, but that we're just human, and that's okay. If the sooner we can release the judgment on ourselves, so will other people.
yeah.
People won't judge us. But yeah, reminding yourself that you have good intentions and that you are someone who is very likable. Repeating that story in your head will then create those experiences in your life to prove those beliefs true. That's
Yeah.
basic manifestation. But when
Yeah.
we've had experiences in our lives where people haven't liked us, or we've had conflict with people, and sometimes we don't even know why someone doesn't like us. It's very easy for us to start to like tell ourselves these limiting stories, um, and but they're not true. They're not
Yeah.
true. You just weren't um, that you weren't that person's cup of tea, and that's okay because you're not going to be liked by everyone, and that's not the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is not to be liked by everyone. The goal is to try and establish connection with people who you meet. But then you decide if that's a person who you want to continue to give your time and energy to. Don't be so worried about them. Don't be so worried about if they like you or if they're going to accept you. Make the judgment of yourself within yourself of, well, does this person have the characteristics, qualities, values, and are they just a person who I want to continue spending my time with and giving my time to?
Yeah. And I'd like to add to that is you might meet someone and at face value you're not really like interested in their attitude, and this is coming back to like, all these other like little mannerism things that you can do to get to know someone. And like even I'll be like, oh, I don't really know if I'm really interested in like this person. They're kind of a bit lazy.
Mm,
They don't seem to really care. And then like you start talking to them about things that like you might have mutual interests in, say like podcasting or recording or something like that. And then you realize like they're really smart on that one specific thing. And you're like,
mm,
wow, I could really utilize that person in my life. Irrelevant from the fact that they might be really lazy at work. They have like this passion to do other things. And you're like,
mm.
wow, they really like they really love that. They don't love this. And it's like realizing that people have just different interests and not everyone's going to be amazing at everything.
No, people are going to be really good and give their time and energy to the things that are a high value to them. So like
Yeah.
maybe work is just like working for someone else, their main goal is just to go there, get paid to be able to pay their bills. But they might be really passionate about something else in their lives,
Yeah.
and like that's why like yeah, removing judgment, being curious and compassionate always serves.
Yeah.
Um and also one of my points. Oh, yeah, one of my points here is to have behavioral flexibility, which means don't be easily bothered by other people,
Yeah.
right? Just allow people say stupid things sometimes. People do stupid things when they're nervous. Um, Understanding that everyone is human, no one's perfect. We all have our ups and downs in different moments, but we're all just trying to do our best, right? So not like being like, oh, they did this, nah, could never be friends with them, don't like them, cutting them off.
Yeah.
And then everyone else in your friendship group seems to really like this person, but you've made your mind up about them on the first time you met them. You know them. You know that they're no good. And it's like, well, now all your friends are getting to enjoy this person because they get to see who they really are, and you've just cut yourself off from connection with them and with your friends. And ultimately, the only person who feels bad is you.
Yeah.
Like give people a chance. Like, um, sometimes people put their foot in their mouth. We've all been there. We've all done that, right?
Yeah. And
Sometimes.
sometimes it's just like a season. You them this person might be in a season of their life where they're doing a whole lot of things that don't align with you, and then before you know it, you guys are on the same path and it all
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
It all
And
makes
you're like,
sense.
I absolutely couldn't I despised this person 6 months ago. And now we're like all of a sudden just like makes sense where we're on the same path. And like if you
Yes,
had have burnt that bridge 6 months ago, you couldn't now be enjoying this moment with them.
exactly. You don't actually know a person until you know a person. And
Mm,
people will put up, facades, and people will put up these like of this idea of who they want you to think they are,
mm,
right? It's a protective mechanism, and we all have it. But when you can get beyond that, you'll be able to see we're all very similar. We all just want to be liked. We all want to be loved and respected. And we all just want to have safety in life.
mm,
We all share the same common core needs as humans.
yeah,
We all just have different flavors of how we like to enjoy that.
different flavors.
All right? Like I used to meet people before I learned all about this. One of the girls who I'm friends with now, like she's one of my longest friends, um, who I used to work with at Bobby Brown. The first time I met her, it was a training day. She walked in the room and she like was strutting her stuff, and then she knew the managers there, so she like went up and gave them all kisses on the cheek, and then she didn't really acknowledge like any of us like newbies, but like she was a newbie, but she just didn't like come across as one. Anyway, and
Yep.
so because that's how she wanted us to perceive her, right? She wanted us to perceive her as someone who's like of higher status, which it makes sense, but it's just the ego, right? It's
Yeah.
not really who she is at her core. And I remember her sitting down and I just went, "Oh, I do not like her." Her and I would not get along. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, Olivia and like that girl, you're gonna be together. You're gonna work at the same store." And I remember being like, "No, I don't want to work with her. What the fuck?" And now we're friends, and we became best friends when we worked together, and we're still really good friends now. Like, oh my gosh, almost 10 years later.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't take people on first impressions. Like you got to give people a chance
Yeah.
to,
I mean, it's great to have a first impression, but
yes.
then it's just like challenge that first impression.
Yeah, don't make your final judgment on a first impression,
Yeah.
which is
Like
a human thing.
I think it's a very good there are a certain level as to why we make a judgment on someone.
Mm,
Um, I think it's a safety mechanism, and I
it is.
think ultimately it probably does work for some things. But then when
Yeah.
it's your every day-to-day life, like maybe just challenge that initial thought or feeling later and be like, why did I think that? What about that person made me think that way?
Yeah, challenge it. Is it me? Is that person just triggering something within me about, a limiting belief or a potential insecurity about myself? Or is it my intuition giving me an
Yeah. Or
off,
is
an
it
off
like
feeling?
a perceived perception of someone or a group of people and really challenge yourself and your beliefs and be like, that's not the kind of person I want to be. That's not the kind of thoughts I want to have. Being aware of that.
So good. So, so good. So, the next one is to let someone finish first. So people love to to talk, right? People love to get the spotlight. And so what you want to do is allow the conversation to be on them as much as possible, right? Like, don't be fussed about talking about yourself. You'll get to it, right? The conversation will become about you. Other person will get curious about you, most of them. They will get curious about you, but let them finish first. Let the light be on them. Ask them questions. Let it be about them. Someone can have like a whole conversation where they speak about themselves the whole time and then be like, wow, I really like that Olivia girl. She is awesome. She's such a nice girl. And they make all these perceived judgments about you, and you haven't said a word.
Yeah.
You haven't said a word, but because you let them speak, they instantly like you,
Mm.
right?
I
Which
reckon
some
I reckon some people are like that with me because I just talk. And it's like, here we go again. Tash is just talking shit.
Well, that's okay, right? So, you want to let someone completely finish what they have to say before you add your piece. So, if you're talking away, Tash is talking, and I keep trying to butt in and say what I want to say, a lot of the times what we do is we butt in and try to say what we want to say because we think we're going to forget what we've got to say.
Mm.
So this is where practicing that memory piece comes in and like, is really handy because you want to trust, no, I'm going to hold on to that thought. I'm going to let this person finish. And then when they're done speaking, I will share my thought and I will remember, it comes down to these affirmations. I will remember what I'm going to say.
Yeah, and I also think we try to butt in sometimes and they actually end up answering your question if you let them finish anyways.
Yes,
And
yes.
actually, this is like literally what people will be talking to you at work, say, and you'll be like, blah 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 blah, and then they'll be like, oh, what about this? Like this, and you're like, people will be like, if you'd let me finish, and then you're like, uh,
I was just about to get to say that. Yeah, that happens to me a
yeah,
lot. But as well, if someone is talking and then you butt in, they're not listening to you. Like
yeah,
that someone is way less likely to actually listen to what you're going to say if you butt in while they're mid talking. So you're better off letting someone speak and get it all out until wait till they're done, then say what you've got to say. Like whether, especially if it's advice, or you really want someone to hear something that you're going to share that may be quite direct. Wait until they're finished before you share, and then they will actually hear what you say, and they'll actually be able to take it in. It's a coaching technique,
yeah.
so it's
Well, I
important
mean,
in
yeah, you
coaching.
definitely have to do it in coaching because the idea of coaching is you just listen and ask pertinent questions.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to butt in. Like if someone is say in coaching, if someone's going on a tangent and they're just like, it's just going nowhere, and maybe they're trying to talk about five things at once. You got to sometimes cut in and be like, okay, we're going to pause there. We're going to look at this first, and then you can keep going.
Yeah.
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 Um. Okay. Cool. So the next one. Well, I have a quote here, which is that only 7% of our communication happens with our words.
Mm,
So we're so focused on saying the right thing, but it's not actually about that. Communication comes down to your body language and your tone. So it's all
yeah.
about the way that you say the things that you're saying or the way that you're communicating and the way that you're speaking. If you're like this and you're like, oh yeah, day was okay. Yeah, I'm like slouched over and I'm really low, and someone's trying to ask me questions, and I'm just like, yeah, not making eye contact. Like you're gonna think, oh, that person's in a shit mood and they don't want to talk, right? Like
Yeah.
my back's to you. I'm not open to conversation. Whereas if you walk in, you've got your shoulders back, you're making eye contact, and you've got like a solid tone. Like people are going to listen to you and people are
Yeah.
going to want to speak to you because you instantly look like an interesting person just based
Yeah.
on your body language and the tone that you're speaking in. if you are standing tall and proud and you're using a really like your tone is with aggression and power, people are going to know you mean business.
Yeah, I actually really try and kind of do that a little bit. I try and like present myself in like I try to sit up straight. I try to look at people when I'm walking through past them. I try to say something
Good.
to them. Like you just try and show that you have presence. People
Good.
will remember you.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
it helps you so much when you like come to someone again and you're like, I know that like I've interacted with them. And then if you've had really positive interactions, they're more likely to help you.
Yeah, more likely to help you, more likely to want to help you, to want to see you succeed, to want to listen to you. Like people are going to respect you. Like you want to get someone's respect, you've got to create rapport with them,
Yeah.
right? You got to sh and you got to show them that like you're someone who is open, friendly, confident, willing to help, willing to listen, um, and genuinely care about other people.
Yeah.
Right? We always wonder, like, why does that person like, why did they have it so easy? Why do they get to do whatever they want to do? It's like, well, because they're probably really charismatic, right?
Well, they probably spent like that extra 5 minutes getting to know the other person.
Yeah, like with people, you go further. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Yeah.
And we all think I need to just slug it out and do it on my own and really focus on like my craft and being really smart and being able to intellectualize things and like that has its place. But like with people and having good people skills and being a likable person, you're able to go so much farther.
Oh yeah. And accepting that you don't know everything. Like even today,
Mm.
like I'm a supervisor, but like I'm on a new platform. I don't freaking know what I'm doing half the time. I have people that have been at Squadron that are way junior to me that have been around a little bit longer that know some stuff. And I'm like, is there anything here that like is pretty cool that I don't know about? Can you tell me? And then before you know it, like they're like, yeah, this. If you go here, 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 do this and do that. And like the more
Good.
you keep doing that with people, the more willing they are to share information with you. And not only
Absolutely.
was I doing that like to be like build rapport with them, but I
Mhm.
genuinely wanted to know stuff. And if they knew stuff that was cool or stuff that might help me in the future, I want to know.
Yeah, that's so good. That's such great advice, Tash. And that really reminds me of like, speak to the elephant in the room, right? Be brutal, be honest, be raw. Like
Yeah.
if like there's something that's like you can just tell that it's bothering everyone, but no one's saying something, just be like, "Oh, is anyone else really annoyed by this?" Right? And people will be like, "Oh, yes, my thank God someone said something."
Oh, yes.
Right. And then and
Just the way you did it. It was like you can just picture everyone's heads going back. I don't know if anyone's watching the video, but it's all audio. She just threw her head back.
I did just a snap me neck back. Um, yeah, people like then instantly, boom, you're connected with the entire room, and then you can move past the elephant. You move past the annoying thing.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to be honest and be brutal. Like it's a great way to connect with
Oh,
people. It's a
I'm
great way to
so
start conversation.
so honest, so brutal. And I'm like all about it. Like I'll be like, yeah, sorry, I'm just being really honest. Or yeah, I understand that was probably a bit brutal. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So you're
but I
speaking
think
to it, which is good.
people know where they stand.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh, yep. If Tasha's got an opinion and she's going to tell me her opinion and I know where she stands.
Yeah, yeah, and then they respect you for that, and they know
They're like,
you,
yeah,
right? So then
yeah,
when people feel like they know you, they trust you.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Speaking
yeah.
to Don't be afraid to speak to the elephant in the room, especially like if you're in like if you're going somewhere and you're really nervous. like say you're going by yourself, and then like you know that there's other people there by themselves, like you can just stand there and be like, guys, I'm really nervous. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm actually really nervous. Like, is anyone else? And then like the other people will be like, oh, thank God, like I'm actually really scared as well. And then you're instantly connected with those people. And, and you know what? If there's a person, if you just say, oh my gosh, I'm really nervous right now, and a person goes, oh my gosh, what? I'm not nervous. Like, nothing to be nervous about here. Everyone knows that person's lying. And you can just be like, oh, okay, well, like, I'm glad you're not nervous then, but I am.
Yeah.
You know, like, just be real. Like, don't be afraid to be real.
It's just those, yeah, it's those unnecessary people that always feel like they need to one up people.
Yeah,
And
you
even
can
in
just.
such an uncomfortable situation, they have to one you up, and you're like, that was so lame. Like you just like I just literally like I just like smile and I like that was stupid.
Yeah, you know, but you can just let them be like that.
Uh,
It's like, oh, okay, I understand. You're in your ego. You've got to one up everyone because obviously maybe some in some place in your life you feel powerless, and so you need to feel like you have power here. That's okay. That has nothing to do with me. You do you,
yeah,
right? You don't have to make
yeah,
it mean, fuck that bitch. She disagreed with me. I don't like her. She's got some attitude. She thinks she's better than everyone, and then you like cut her off.
yeah,
It's like
like
that girl who can't be real, she needs authentic connection more than anybody else who's willing to be honest.
yeah,
You know, like, and
yeah.
you want to help someone like that. You want to build connection with someone like that. You don't want to just let them keep hurting themselves. Just hit your mic.
I just knocked it.
Oh, good. Um, then there's only a couple more points. Thanks for sticking with us. So we kind of spoke about it then, but it's yeah, have your shoulders back, stand tall, and smile. Don't be afraid to smile and have a friendly demeanor. Stand tall, have your shoulders back, show that you're confident in yourself, you're open to communication, and like you become across as a more genuinely like positive person, and people will naturally be more attracted to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they
yeah.
feel safe
It's
with you.
actually funny because I go through a gate to get to work every day,
Hmm.
and there's always someone at the gate because you have to scan on, and then I've been like, every day, like, all right, I'm gonna smile even harder today. I'm gonna smile even harder. And so I just slowly, my grin is just like getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm just like waving at them at the gate. And they're probably like, what is this bitch doing? It's like this subconscious thing where I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna push I'm uncomfortable to smile all your teeth at someone for a split second, and you feel like a Cheshire cat because you're like so intense all for like 1 second of an interaction. But I'm like, no, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna full in. I'm just gonna keep trying to get it bigger and bigger each time and
That's
just be
so
so much
cute.
more enthusiastic. So random, but it's just something I've been doing lately.
I love
It's
that.
like it's like 6:10 in the morning, and I'm like gonna have the biggest grin.
Well, you know, then you're known as like the happy person, and then like if they, you know, if you see them or come into contact with them, they're gonna instantly be like, oh my gosh, they're gonna want to talk to you. You know,
Yeah.
compared to like when you're a person who just drives in like, well, I hate being here, you know, like
It's not a freaking day, another dollar.
no, I'm doing it fucking door, like, get me out of here already, you know, like the gate person's just gonna be like, they won't even like not notice them, or they'll be known as like, oh, you're the angry person.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is to limit your fidget. So sometimes subconsciously or unconsciously, and sometimes you may be conscious about it. We fidget when we're communicating. So we may like bounce our knee, or we may like play with our hands a lot. That gives off a sign of nervousness, because of like your
Yeah.
body's trying to regulate itself, which like you know a bit of like shaking and whatnot is fine. Like if you want to just like get it out, just you know shake it out, and then practice being still.
Yeah.
Not fidgeting your hands, not fidgeting with your clothes or your hair or your face. Keep your hands still and communicate with that person. That instantly makes you come across as a more confident communicator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
fidget.
while you fidget, I fidget a lot. So like this one really stuck with me because I have this little voice in my head now when I'm fidgeting that goes, limit the fidget. And I go, oh, yep, that's right. I'm just gonna stop. But you will notice now that I've made you conscious of it, that when you're more nervous, you fidget more.
Yeah, I will have to think about it.
So even if you're not
I was
nervous,
trying to think, yeah,
not
I was trying to
nervous.
think of one the other day, but
Yeah.
I think I was just cold and I was just shaking because I think I was cold.
Yeah, that's you can shake and jitter if you're cold.
Because I'm like, I was
Um,
shaking a lot, but I think I was just cold.
yeah, but yeah, you'll notice like if you're nervous that you fidget a lot more, and I just want you to really practice not fidgeting, like limit that fidgets. Be like,
Yeah,
no, stop, be still, communicate. Even if you're nervous, you're consciously supporting yourself.
yeah.
And the last one is to be generous with your compliments. So, whenever, not just giving a compliment for the sake of a compliment, but we often think really nice things about people, and we're too afraid to tell
Mm-hmm.
them.
Yeah.
I have like just found so much positive outcomes in my life just by being honest with people about the things that I notice about them or about what they're wearing or what they're saying or who they are. If I think of something positive about someone, I let them know straight away. I love your bag. Where'd you get it from? I really like your makeup today. It looks lovely. That was really nice what you said just then. I really liked that. Like we actually think of lots of compliments, but we're often too scared to tell people. The best
Mm,
way to become a confident communicator and to connect with someone on a deeper level is to share with them the positive things that you've noticed about them.
yeah.
People love
Yeah.
compliments. People
Oh,
love to
they
receive
do.
them. But so
Yeah.
yeah, not don't just give them out for the sake of it. Like be genuine. But just don't be afraid to, if you think something positive about someone, go and tell them. Because what do girls do in the girls' bathroom as soon as they're drunk? And they're not afraid and they're feeling like they feel confident to say things.
Yeah.
They hype each other the fuck up, right? They're it's like a compliment fest in a girl's bathroom when we're drunk. It's
Yeah.
just boom, 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 boom. Everyone's loving on each other. Everyone's being honest because everyone's had a couple drinks and they're not afraid.
Yeah.
Practice that sober.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that could happen? A person really appreciates what you say and you made their day.
Mm. Yeah, someone complimented me yesterday and I
Hmm.
was like, you know what? And it was like I was asking all these questions and stuff, and they were like, "Who's who's her boss?" And I was like thinking, "Oh my God, have I done something wrong?" He's like, "She's a sponge, and you need to feed her."
Slay.
And I was just like,
Yes.
"What a compliment of my intelligence!"
Yeah, you are
Like
such a
a way to
sponge.
compliment someone on their intelligence or like their ability to learn.
See, and that like would have given you a real kick up your step.
Oh, it did. I was like, "Thank you. Give me a job." They're
Promote
like
me.
these Americans in like they're a bunch of Americans that were at work and he was the one who said it to me and I'm thinking, offer me a job in America, please.
Pay for my America trip.
Please.
Oh, so good.
But then
So,
I'm
so good.
thinking, and I was literally thinking, it's like, imagine if I just sat there quietly
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't be having this
Imagine.
conversation now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. That's the whole
Yeah.
point of this podcast. Imagine if you didn't ask the questions and if you weren't
Hmm.
curious, um, in general.
Yeah.
that compliment never would have been received, that good word never would have got passed on, and who knows the positive chain of events that are going to happen from that moment.
Yeah.
Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, I feel like I feel so good. I feel so privileged to have been in that situation, to have like had that conversation, be a part of the conversation that was being had, and then to be complimented.
So good. I'm so happy for you. So, that is all I have to share. I've got two book references that I got all of this information from, if you like reading. The first one is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, which is a very popular, very old book, but one that is as good as what everyone says it is. It's a great book.
Yeah.
Then there is a book called How to Talk to Anyone by
Yeah.
Leil Lowndes. And that book is a someone in recent times who read and digested all of the How to Win Friends and Influence People book and then simplified or just like created a book based on what they felt was missing from Dale Carnegie's book. Um,
Yeah.
I really loved the book How to Talk to Anyone. It was very practical. It gave lots of steps and examples and like really helped me to become a confident communicator. But pretty much everything that I learnt from Leil, I have shared in this podcast today. So I really hope that this has been valuable for you. And please let us know in our type form or send us a message on Instagram if you have any questions about this podcast or this topic, or you can comment on Spotify. Um, and yeah, I really hope that this helps you to try a couple different
Yeah.
things and go out in the world and be the confident communicator that you always could be, but no one just showed you
Yeah.
how.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope someone's learned something or realized something that they're doing and maybe can fix it or improve on something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thank you all so much.
Hope you have an amazing week, and we'll chat
We
to you
love
soon.
you.
We love you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Liv.
Bye. Stop the recording.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.